Let's move on to McGoldrick's comments then. So just a few quotes here. He said, "This is one of the most important years for me, no doubt about that. I'm out of contract and there is no option on that either. It's down to me and the club what happens next year. I've not been offered anything by the club, but if that changes, then obviously I've got to look at it. I have lots of respect for the club and the staff here. My family are backing Nottingham, so I have to think about that. I'm 29 now and have probably got one or 2 year contracts left in me. Before I'm in the real world. It's a short career football, so it's a big decision for me ahead. But as I said, it's not something I'm worried about. I'll deal with it when it comes to it." He's also referenced about him recently becoming a father of 4. Obviously, his family ties to Nottingham. I would have thought with him being at the club for the last 4 seasons that he would have potentially have relocated them down here. Yeah. But I mean, that is a thing that we can't really blame him for. Having a family in Nottingham, 4 kids, it must be difficult for him, and he obviously is clearly thinking about that. But his comments do suggest that he's either saying, "Offer me a new contract now," or "Tala in the summer, and I'm going to go back up into the Midlands."
Yeah. I think he's basically just going to take the biggest offer, isn't he? So, I mean, you've got to look at it. Would there be a sort of higher ranking Championship club, or dare I say it, lower ranking Premier League side who would look at McGoldrick if he's out of contract? I think we could probably get him on, I don't know, what's he on at Ipswich, do you reckon 10, 12 grand a week, something like that?
Yeah.
So what do you think? They put an offer in, 20 grand a week, which to a Premier League club is nothing, but to him that's virtually doubling his money. And yeah, he probably won't play, but like he says there, he's only got 1 or 2 more sort of big contracts in him, or 1 or 2 years left in him, really. So I think he's pretty much issuing a come and get me plea to anyone that wants him, really. I honestly can't see him being here next year.
There's a lot of options around that area as well, isn't there? Midlands clubs. There's so many places he could potentially go to. And I have heard rumours that he doesn't train that often at Ipswich Town. I think McCarthy, obviously he's quite injury prone. I think McCarthy does like to let him do his own thing, live in Nottingham, keep fit, come down maybe once or twice a week, and look after himself and keep him happy. So it does. I probably think he will move on.
To echo Jake, I mean, if he was to move, say, to Nottingham Forest or to Derby or any one of those Midland clubs up there, he'd do him a great service. But would he actually get in the side? That is the main question. I mean, he might get in a Forest. I know good old Murpho is still going strong up there, and maybe there's a nice little reunion on the cards if he does get in. But he's 35. Maybe they will be looking at someone else to come over and.
I think going back to Forest could be a possibility. Would you rule Burton Albion out? Could you see him dropping?
Yeah, I'd see him drop. He could League One. There's clubs in League One that offer bigger contracts than we do. Like I can't think off the top of my head a League One club, Midlands.
Do you think it will come down to a case of money, or do you think the aspect of the Midlands, because we're just sort of saying hypothetically he's going to go back to that area of the country?
It reeks of Christoph Berra. I'm sure Berra is earning nowhere near what he was on at Ipswich Town, but when you want to go back home, you want to go home, don't you? You'll take less money. He might even be happier for it, as I'm sure Berra is right now. But I don't think he's someone who is that money driven, but you could see him, taking a big contract somewhere.